Yujiro Hanma is peak masculinity. The father of Baki is a prime example of what men look like 100 of years ago. Pure strength and an iron will to survive. And I'm going to be explaining exactly why Yujiro Hanma is a great masculine role model. The first reason as to why I think he's a great masculine role model is because he sets the standard. He's the one that walks in the room and sets the standard of what is going to happen. He's known throughout the whole world that he is the strongest man in the universe, or the strongest man in the world. And all aspiring martial artists, all aspiring fighters, all aspiring street fighters, all aspiring boxers, all aspiring wrestlers, they're all trying to match his level of strength, and they're continuously improving himself so they can one day fight him and test their strength against the strongest man in the world, which is definitely awe-inspiring. Even though, you might get hurt in the process, you might never be able to fight again because Yujiro Hanma is such a beast. It's definitely a great thing for masculine men to have competition because they can set the standard higher and higher every time they try to test themselves against the standard. And that's why I think Yujiro Hanma is a prime example of, is that he's able to set the standard for the strength, to set the standard for the iron will, to set the standard for just power in general. And he's able to exert that dominance over the rest of the men. And then the second reason is freedom. Yujiro Hanma is probably the freest man in the world in Baki. He doesn't abide to anybody. He's free to do whatever he wants. He can go eat dinner whenever he wants. He can go hunt down a bunch of soldiers whenever he wants. He can go fight a mammoth-sized elephant whenever he wants. He does whatever the fuck he wants. And that's why I think he's a great masculine role model. He's not, taking orders from somebody. He's setting his life how he wants to live it, and he's doing that, as you see throughout the whole series of Baki. He doesn't really take any orders from somebody. If somebody tries to give him orders, they pay the consequence. And I think that's a great value to live by, is because you want to live life on your terms, not other people's terms. And Yujiro Hanma is a really good example of that. He lives lives on his own terms. And then the third reason is that he can protect whoever he wants. Because he's the strongest man in the world, or just by him fighting the strongest people in the world, he is basically saving oppressed people from stronger opponents, stronger armies, stronger weapons. He's basically saving people just because he's testing his mettle and his might every time he goes against other people. And it was revealed in the last Netflix season that he basically saved people just because he wanted to test his might against soldiers of another country. And they basically see Yujiro Hanma, the people that were oppressed, they see him as a beacon of hope, the savior, the person that freed them, basically. And even though Yujiro Hanma probably didn't have that in mind, he just wants a good fight, and he wants to test his might and see how far he can push his strength, see how far he can push his martial arts knowledge. I'm pretty sure that he had no intention of helping people, because that's just not in his nature. He just does whatever he wants, like I was saying at the last point. But by extension of him trying to beat the world's strongest people, the world's strongest powers, he's going to run into people that are oppressed by those strongest powers. And that's exactly what happened in the last season, because people were showing up to his fights and they were saying that, he saved me in the past, or he did this for me, and he did this for me, even though he probably didn't want to do that on purpose. It was just by him trying to test his might and test his power against other powers. That's why I think Yujiro Hanma is a perfect masculine role model. As I explained before, he sets the standard, probably one of the most freest men in Baki, and just in anime in general. I don't think anybody else is more free to live life on their own terms. And then 3, he can protect whoever he wants to just because he is so powerful. Just by finding strong opponents, he's freeing the oppressed just as a side effect. So that's what I think about Yujiro Hanma. What do you guys think about Yujiro Hanma? Do you guys think he's a perfect masculine role model, or do you think he's a bad masculine role model? Let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like if you guys liked it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Go.